So now I'm gonna make a chicken watering hack. And I'm gonna use a coffee can, but I'm not gonna use the coffee can for the reasons that you think. I'm gonna use the coffee can because I wanna cut out most of it so that I can use the back part here as a way to hang the Coke bottle. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut off about 1/3 of this all the way down far enough so that the chickens can get in there. So now you have that. That's got to be cleaned out before we do anything because that's Bermuda seed. So I'm going to repurpose another one of these containers, and we're just going to cut it, low enough. So now this looks pretty good. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to set this in here, right? And now if you look where your water is, you have some control, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna put some hot glue on this and stick this down into here. Right about right there, not right up against, because your bottle's gonna need some room to move. And so there you go, so we're right there, and that'll hold that in place. Now you're gonna have to mount this. You're gonna have to be able to get this to sit on there. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna punch some holes in here, and I'm gonna just put some string through there so that I can tie it off. Probably a couple spots. Here I'll make a loop, and here I'll make a loop. And when I do that, this should hold the bottle in place. Then we'll fill it up and we'll see how well that worked. So the bottle's got to set just about right there, like that. So now I'm going to find my spots where I'm going to put my holes through, and I'm going to take a punch, or let's see So what I'm going to do is these are going to go in a couple of spots right here. And then I think we're in the same spot right here. And then I want a bottom loop right here and right here to hold it in place. I'm gonna attach the bottle in here below the water level so that it holds the water at the level that I want. And I'm gonna use rebar wire to make that happen. So I already have a piece here. I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna run a loop through here. So there we go, and then we'll cut this piece off here. Make it long. You don't want to sell yourself short there and get it to where you don't have a loop. Okay. So now you basically want it to look something like that. You can see it, there's just the loop. You can use string or twine or whatever you want to use, but this is how I want to do it. So now I want to see where the bottle fits in here. So now I need that bottle to be lower, so I'm not going to make it as tight. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tie that off right there. I'm going to go ahead and just make a loop. For now I'm just going to cross it because I don't think it's going to go anywhere just yet. So there's that. So that's done. Now we're going to do the same thing on the top to hold it. There you go. So just sort of like went a little more on each end. So okay, so now this will just drop in here and it'll fit just like that, and this will hold the bottle in place. Now, and that's what you're looking at. There's a chicken feeder. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to try it, and we're going to see how well it holds up and all that. I'm going to fill it up with water and we're going to try it out. Okay, so now I got my water bottle and I have, let me clear this stuff out of the way. So the best way to load this is to flip this upside down. Let me see if I can get it where you can see this. So what you want to do is you want to load this upside down like this and get the bottle set where you want the bottle to be set. And then once you've got it loaded, right, you just flip it over. And once it's flipped over, it will fill to whatever level you have your ties set at, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cinch my ties up even more so that I can get a better hold on it. And then I'm gonna just do a quick tighten right here on these, because that will hold everything where it needs to be held. So there's that. And then this is down a little bit too far. So we're gonna just adjust the bottom one up a little bit. Yeah, perfect. So now you can see the chicks have water almost all the way up to the top of that thing. And there's water in there. And all you do is you can tighten or loosen to adjust whatever height you want the bottle to sit at. Due to circumstances, we ended up with more chickens than we were originally going to end up with. So I need to make another water dispenser for the chickens. But I was thinking I had a different idea, because the one that I made is pretty much only a 180 dispenser, and I need a 360 dispenser. So I'm going to fabricate out of this a 360 dispenser, and we're going to see whether or not that works. I'm out of coffee cans. Let's see if that works, and then I can put this in there and we can get the chicks able to drink all the way around. So we got way too many chicks for that one dispenser. So what I want to do with this one is I'm going to take this water bottle, or a water bottle, and I'm going to suspend it in there in the center, and then have openings all the way around so that chicks can get their heads in anywhere around instead of just a 180. Also, don't want to make the holes big enough for them to climb around and play in there, because that's kind of what's going on now. What I want to do, and I'm going to use sort of these marks here as space indicators. It's a little thicker here, so it's kind of hard to do, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark off here, right, at about the same height, right, openings for the chicks to get their heads in there. So now that these are all marked off, you're going to have to cut them out. So here I'm going to have to cut out the top, and I want this bottle to hang pretty far in there. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out so I can force this bottle through. So I'm going to cut out a hole in the top of that, and we're going to see if that's going to work. Now this is pretty straightforward here. This plastic is relatively thin, and so it's fairly easy. Look, I'm going to give you a little piece of advice here, especially if you're cutting something serious. If you're pulling a razor blade towards you, you probably don't want your finger in the way. You want to move your fingers out of the way. I tend to get a little bit lazy about it, even though I know better. And so let's see. So will this work? All right. So there you go. That's pretty much what I'm trying to achieve. Now I'm not going to know if that's going to work right until I get my other spots out. I think it's going to be a little bit too high, but I can't tell. This is actually a drywall knife. I'm gonna go ahead and use it to cut through stuff. I mean, it doesn't have to be technically proficient or great. It just needs to be able to hold water, and so these things will, It'll cut drywall. It'll cut this number 2 or number 5 plastic. All right, so I kind of want it a little bit lower, like right there. So now I need to have this thing in here, and I need it right about there. So hopefully the hot gun, the glue gun, is done, and I can just, you don't need a lot, just a little bit on there, and hopefully it holds it, because you know it's hot glue and it melts and all kinds of other stuff. I'm gonna see if where it fits in this whole grand scheme. So if we take a look at this, yeah, it looks like it's gonna be just below where I need it to be. So I put water in there. I decided I'm gonna put the water in this thing and then just flip this over and put it in there, not do it upside down like I did the other one. And we're gonna see how well this works. This is just a dry run, but I think this bottle's gonna be a bit too small for what I wanna do. I think it's just gonna end up emptying out really quick. Well, let's try it. Well, and it works. It's doing what it's supposed to do. So if you look, it's holding just below the level of the bottle cap, the bottle there. So hopefully when this, I'm gonna try to push this top part down just a little bit more and try to get it to sit just a little bit lower in there. Maybe just heat this a little bit to get it to drop, but it's sitting in there, and hopefully that will work.